boom, done.
Then turn right.
With a quick route plan. So it's a one-stop trip, which is amazing to think about in this car. BMW's always been really good at offering a lot of options and settings, but it's always been really hard for customers to get to them. And I would say, you would know better than I would, but I would imagine most BMW owners don't even know everything their car can do.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the air quality stuff too. You can see the outside air quality, the filtered air, and even the filter status as to when it needs to be changed. So I think there's some really cool stuff going on in here, which is nice. The real benefit that I see to this is, let's say you're buying a used iX3 in the future. Someone didn't spec it, you no longer, like, the value of that car is still there because you can add this afterwards. This video is brought to you by OpenVPP and Ionna. OpenVPP, a global virtual power plant for electric vehicles. See vehicles charging across the world and zoom in to see real-time charging status in what aims to be the world's largest vehicle virtual power plant. OpenVPP allows you to track charging history, energy usage, and daily trips, comparing your usage versus others, day to day and month to month. With OpenVPP, we're working together to showcase the potential of EV charging to electric grid operators. There may even be future coordinated EV charging rewards coming soon. So sign up today at world.openvpp.energy. It's completely free to join and takes under 60 seconds. And Ionna, the EV charging network brought to you by the world's leading automakers. Ionna is raising the bar on what it means to charge. We're talking a 400 kilowatt minimum nationwide network built with the customer in mind. Fast, reliable, affordable, every single time. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Guys, we are here with another new BMW iX3 video, and this one is hugely important for everyone who talks about in-car software. From route planning to over-the-air updates to really cool screens, we are going to learn all about the new BMW iDrive system that debuts in the Neue Klasse. And I have actually one of the lead engineers on the project, Claudia, is going to be joining me to go through a lot of the why behind the software. Because of course I could go on the screen and poke and show you a bunch of menus, but it's really cool to have someone who's worked on the project to explain why things are, what the logic is behind the setup, and hopefully it will give us a little bit more insight into a fairly powerful, but I would say maybe a little bit confusing infotainment system at first glance. We have a lot to learn here, so let's, without further ado, jump inside the new BMW iX3 and take a look at all the menus, the software features, and some really cool, hopefully, tips and tricks that will help you if you're thinking about driving one of these cars. So let's get into it. Big news, guys. The Climate Exchange EV giveaway raffles I've been telling you about are ending very soon. Coming up on December 8th will be the last day to enter for your chance to win a luxury EV such as a Rivian, a Porsche, Mercedes, Lucid, you name it, because Climate Exchange lets you choose the winning prize up to $120,000. They even include all taxes and fees on top of that vehicle, which is so cool. At the same time as their luxury EV raffle giveaway, they're also doing a mini EV raffle giveaway with the prize up to $45,000. And that's a really cool one because it's a little bit less expensive to get in there. And of course, you can choose to enter one or both. There's also a second and third place opportunity, $12,500 for second place, $7,500 for third place. And those are just for the luxury EV raffle, the big prize raffle that's going on. Climate Exchange is a nonprofit working very closely with states to improve climate-related policies, such as pushing for more electric car adoption and even helping the build-out of electric car charging stations. So what are you waiting for? Support a great cause while also entering to win some really cool prizes, some great electric cars that you get to choose. And all you need to do to enter is to go to carbonraffle.org/outofspec. I'll leave everything linked in the description below. Hey guys, you join me with Claudia, who's the lead UI UX designer of this new operating system. Claudia, thank you so much for doing the video.
Pleasure.
So is that your job title? I hope I didn't mess it up.
Yeah, it's perfectly right. So I'm a UI and UX designer, and I worked with a team to create this panoramic vision. Yeah, so this is a crazy experience here. I've only ever seen this kind of in one other car in China, and so really bringing this to a global vehicle is so cool.
Yes. And in this video, more or less, you and I are going to run through a lot of the operating logic behind Panoramic Vision, iDrive X, and you'll have to give me all the buzzwords and names. And we had a chance to chat yesterday quite a bit, and I was like, you are so knowledgeable. You've got to come on camera and tell everyone what's going on. So thank you for doing this.
Yeah. It's a great honor for me to show you also the insights, what we thought about, and then just to show you some details about that.
Amazing. So the first thing that we'll just kind of touch on really quickly, and then we'll get into the car. I just want to show the viewers is this right here is the phone app, and the password is, for these phones, the last of the license plate. So in this case, 2921. And this is essentially the app that you have in the car. You have control functions such as audio control. I didn't even know you could do this.
Yes, you can do this. Also, like we call it also the passenger mode. So even on the co-driver side, but also in the back, you can adjust and your seat functions, for example, the climate ones, but as well as the media source, right? You can just give a hint of that, what you want to listen, and then we can hear it together here.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. And you can invite your passengers to scan the QR code. Yes. And so we'll play around with that on a road trip one day. Because that'll be really fun. But then, of course, you have your typical app functions. Phone is a key. One thing that I thought was so cool that BMW did for this event was they didn't give us key fobs. They just handed us phones.
Yes.
And that shows the confidence in the ultra-wideband phone as a key. And you can also share up to like 15 or 20 keys to people, right?
Yes, correctly. And I think this is then also very cool to have a lot of users to use your car, and you can share with them and give them specific rights on that. So I think you have always it's always up to you. Want to decide a friend key, what kind of permissions you want to give a specific person, but it's always like your choice as a driver.
Mm-hmm. And then of course you in the phone app can do the basic thing, lock, unlock, check your trips, your charging curve. It will tell you how fast you're charging. It logs the previous ones. There's information. It's all pretty standard from older BMWs as well, but just seems a little bit more dialed in. Yep. What we're mostly here to talk about is the completely new operating system in the car, which is I would say, fairly big departure from previous and a really great one. A little background on my experience. I went to the IAA and got to experience the car on display. Mm-hmm. And in this, in a very quickly shot video, I touched a bunch of buttons and I realized this system is so powerful. You can pull up extreme levels of detail, such as elevation or battery temperature. Like you can do whatever you want. So I think what would be cool is if one of our viewers is thinking about buying this car, maybe you can share some of the why things are the way they are. So I'll turn it over to you. I would love to hear how you would like to present this. I'm noticing just some cool features, like you have a built-in dash cam and some other things already. This is great stuff.
Cool. So let's start with the overview, and also my thing that I think what matters the most for me is that we created a new sense of space here, right? You don't have to look through your instrument cluster to see your specific things. You can just concentrate on the driving, right? We always say that at BMW, this hands on the wheels and eyes on the road is so much our thing, and that's also why we created this kind of interior, and also our main elements in the panoramic iDrive. So this is, I think, the most overview thingy. So let's start with the specific displays. What you can see here, and we talked about that a lot, is our panoramic vision display. So from pillar to pillar, with the most important informations on the left-hand side regarding driving, so your speed, but also like the battery status, also road signs, is everything right in front of you. But in the mid and on the right-hand side, it's up to you. So we want to say that you can focus on the things that matters to you the most. So could be something like battery things we talked about yesterday.
I'm the only one who wants to see battery current up there, but you let us do it.
I let do that, and we talked about that, and I said, like, I haven't seen a person who has done that before, but we are offering that, right?
Sure.
Because it should matter to you the most. Mm-hmm. So this is also very easy to set up. I just quickly show you that. Let's do it this way. That everybody can see your specific configuration from yesterday, right?
Okay, great.
So, for example, here, this is the configuration. It's very easy. You can do a drag and drop.
Oh, so these are all the available positions, and this is how you put them around. So currently you have navigation arrival data.
Correct.
AI assistant of some kind,
Correct.
Which I'll ask you a little bit more about that. Mm-hmm. Music, air quality, temperature, and elevation.
Correct.
For me, I would say, okay, DC charging status, we're at optimal temperature. I would probably go with high voltage battery current and high voltage battery temperature because I'm a nerd.
So yeah, it's up to you, right? It's saved in your BMW ID, so the next time you're entering the car, you will also get that configuration, so it feels like your home and also your setup, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is so great, and I'm sure through time this system will evolve a little bit, and so I definitely want to go through the rest of it, but maybe you can tell us a little bit of the plan for over-the-air updates, what is supported, will there be often updates, or what do you think will come there?
Yeah, there are often updates, right? Because we always say that we want to have it up to date. We are a lot talking about with our customers what they want to have, what kind of widgets they want to have, what they are searching for, and that's why we are getting a lot of updates in the next time. So to also give a lot of things then to our customers afterwards as well.
Very
and
cool.
Even all cars will be updated then.
Amazing. That's great. So this is nice. And the other thing I should mention just about this display is sitting in a parked car and looking at the display is one thing because you're really focused on it. And it's interesting, but it's also like you're always trying to look at the hood line, like see if it lines up. When I was driving yesterday, truly just cruising around, it was amazing to have all my information up there. It's a really cool thing because you're not losing any road visibility whatsoever. It was dead space before, and now you can put in so much more information, so you really are up to date on what's going on. I really loved it. Now, if someone doesn't like it, you also have a way where you can mostly turn it off.
Right. So we have different modes we're offering. We have on the one side the personal mode. We already talked about that. So you can say, for example, you can also delete ones in the widgets, but you can also have that silent one. So this is also especially offered for people, and we talked about more than 3,000 people which in the creation process of that system, and they already said in the night or during the night they want to have it very reduced. That's why we are offering this silent mode to them, to make it really easy to focus on driving and have it, not that much information and also not that blinky white lines, so it's very reduced for them. That's the silent mode, yes.
Yeah, very cool. And we'll get, I mean, since we're talking about the modes, there's not really driving modes in a sense. There's more overall experience modes.
Right.
And this is not new for BMW. You did this in the previous generation cars as well.
Yes, we did that, but we also have a lot of new things inside of that, because for us it was really important from the one side that the focus on the things, right information at the right time and in the right place, but also this kind of truly yours, right? You have your information that you already configured, but it also like the whole interior feels like your home and you feel very comfortable in that. That's why we have, for example, our color wheel. So if you want to have like a pinkish interior or a blue one or a yellow one, and you see that everything moves to that specific color. The interior lighting, everything on the vision display, but also in your central display moves to that specific color. And that was very important for us to get that specific touch and this kind of truly your character on that.
Yeah, what I really appreciate about this is it's not like maybe previous generation BMWs where you would adjust ambient lighting, this would be different, that would be different. It's sort of like everything is now connected as one complete system. And from speaking with some of your electrical colleagues as well, the whole car uses a zonal architecture now. So you have 4 main ECUs to control everything. Those ECUs will pretty much be the same across the entire group at some point. So updates, supporting all of this, the integration of everything is so much more, and it's matching kind of what we've seen the startups do. BMW is right up there with them now.
Right, so this is now our step.
Sorry, I said the 3-letter word to wake up our assistant.
That's right, but I want to show you the design part. We already took a look at that. You can also select out of 6 wallpapers to have that. I can also quickly show you on that. So you have, for example, the image, and then you want to like the old Neue Klasse, you can also have that. And the background, for example.
Oh, and even that changed a little bit too.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Here with the long press, you can select your picture or the navigation. So it's up to you. And then also your wallpaper appears for you.
How about that? I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty cool. So, maybe for some people who know exactly where they're going all the time, or I could think of some use cases where you may not want navigation pulled up. For example, if I'm filming in a neighborhood, I may just want to pull the wallpaper as the home screen. That's a really nice feature.
This was also the idea that most of the time, and that was also the feedback of our customers, they want to stay in the main menu, right? They have the driving information right in front of them. So in our 3D head-up display with the information regarding navigation, with speed, and also like the driving assistant things. But in the middle of, they want to feel that kind of wallpaper, main menu, and have everything on one place. That's also the idea of the widget here, right? This is not completely new to our previous car, but that was the thing also we mentioned or thought about. It should be also familiar for them. We do not want to do everything like completely different, so we want to keep it quite familiar to them. So the swiping up and down, the live content information, that feels also familiar for our current BMW users. And they can feel the word with the three.
Yeah, the three-letter word. Yeah.
So it's very easy to them. That's also we played a lot with small widget overlays that we don't throw them into very deep menus. So it's only overlaying the information that you need in a specific moment.
This is so nice.
Then, it's gone, right?
Yeah, it's like my MacBook at my computer. It just makes sense. If you want Bluetooth, just hit the Bluetooth and boom, you can go right there and add a device.
Yeah, and that's also cool. The imagination or the idea behind the central display. Yeah. Also the position, you can see.
Oh yeah, I did that too. Sorry about that.
No problem. So also from the position, so I can really easily arrange even things which are very not that near to me, but they are very easily to interact with. This was also the idea.
Yeah. So the suggestions, are all of these customizable on the widgets that you can have pulled up?
Yes, you do a long press, so a configuration mode, which was also very familiar for all customers, but also users of smartphone, right? You have this one. You can say that to hide them, to show them, or also to rearrange them on the position you want to have them, right?
That's quite a bit of tuning and coding that you have to go through to make all that work, I would imagine.
Yeah, but I think this is also the thing from a UI UX perspective. We always talk about mental models, right? So what people are aware of, what they have learned about in their personal devices. So we think about it, they don't have to learn everything new inside of BMW, so they can keep their mental models. And we thought about how should we arrange things, what's the way, if, for example, if you're searching for a charging setup or charging setting, where to find that. So we talked a lot with our customers and then really created this one they think it should work, right? Not how we should think it should work. So we heard about our customers.
So let's go back to making the navigation the home screen. This is how I think most people will probably keep their car. Yes. Maybe you can tell us, because we have a lot of EV drivers watching this, a lot of people who are excited to go on a road trip in their iX3. One of the most important things that any long-range electric car can do is to navigate to a destination. It can select chargers along the way. It can precondition for them, and then you can plug and charge at the charger. Now, I know this car can do all of that, and maybe you can show us some of the logic behind that.
Yeah, so should we set up a destination to Madrid, for example, or to Berlin?
Yeah, sounds great.
Let's do it with speech. Hey, BMW, drive me to Madrid.
Okay, Madrid.
Amazing. So that seemed to work pretty well.
Drive southwest.
Boom, done.
Then turn right.
With a quick route plan. So it's a one-stop trip, which is amazing to think about in this car. And it's chosen a high-power charger that's available that I can see here.
Yes.
And I love that it's getting us in 5% at the final destination. But does it also show what we're going to get to the charger with in terms of state of charge?
Yeah, so you have here your overview of the whole route, and you have here our event line, so you can have a look on that. For example, here with all the signs and also the driving station. Let's search for that, for example, here. So this is the one which is offered for our customers.
400 kilowatt charger.
Right. Replace the destination, tariffs, you see if it's open, also if it's available, what kind of charging you can have in that. So this is the overview. But of course you can have a lot of things as well as in your settings. because we know that this is very, very individually, right? This charging thingy. This is the charging route. That's why it's offered also charging stops. But you can say, like, as we have seen, 5% at destination. You can set it up very easily. And you also have that in your live data in your BMW.
And what is min? Is that 1% or 2%?
You can see here.
Yeah, it goes 5, and then it's probably close to 0 then, I guess, if you go all the way down. That's the proper EV road trip way, is get there with nothing. Now, in this case, in Spain, the charging infrastructure isn't so built out as it is in Germany. So you would do maybe not the most optimized stop. Just judging here, we have a 53 to 92% charge, which is not totally optimized, but maybe for this trip, that was the best compromise based on the route. So that's pretty interesting, and I love how it shows what's available, you know, the time that it expects it to take, which still is not very long, even for charging up high, and the start and end percent to get you there. One thing I would love to see is this 5% show the stop rather than the end destination, because then I know what the next stop will be in terms of state of charge. So if there's one feedback you could take back to the team.
I will take that one, of course.
Very cool. So the route planning seems great. The battery will also warm up or cool down on the way. And then, of course, this supports plug and charge in the US at Ionna, Electrify America, all the normal places. So it'll be a really nice road tripping car. Yesterday when I was driving the iX3, I noticed I had navigation here. I had it in my driver's display there, and also a head-up display. One thing we haven't mentioned yet is the head-up display.
Yes.
So maybe you can tell us about that, because it was amazing. The navigation on there was so cool.
Yeah, it's our 3D head-up display, and it's like slope. That means like it's really like lying on the road, right? It's for you. I think you have that information, so it's not more like this way that I have it really in front. It's like moving towards the road, and it feels like also, even if you're having your maneuvers, it's like you have your arrows really on the position they should be, right? It feels like very easy to navigate.
I mean, we only missed one turn, and normally I miss 50 turns. So it's a real improvement with that system there. Nice work.
That's cool. Yeah, and I already mentioned this. One thing that we thought a lot about is like right information at the right time and in the right place. Yeah, because we have specific like displays, and we thought about that. What kind of information do we have, and where should they be placed, right? And the second one was as well like, what is the right mechanism behind? Because you can see we still have hardware buttons, right?
Yeah, maybe you can tell us about that.
Yeah, because we thought about, for example, if you're entering your car with gloves in wintertime, it's very difficult to do a touch interaction here, right? To do a max defrost, for example. So what's you need if you're entering then? Do you have a good and placed button that you can really easily tap on that, for example. So
these are like the main, most important functions, which is front and rear defrost, volume, shifting, and hazards.
Correct. And on the other side, for example, as I already mentioned, this mental models is the seat. So just imagine you have like your seat settings in a display. Then you have arrows left and right and moving up and down. And you have to think about, okay, I want to go forward and then I'm going to want to back. So it's very, a lot of things in your head's going on, right?
Yeah.
That's why we say that, no, it should be placed really near to me. And it's like a seat, right? So I have to move that front and back, up and down, more to the steering wheel or to the back. That's why we say that this interaction shouldn't be any display or moving into our central display. It should be very easy to integrate. And then we thought about, but if we move everything inside of that, it would be very full.
Yeah.
So we thought about what are the first interactions, what are the second ones. And this is the moment we are matching the digital one and the hardware buttons together. We call them always like burger.
Yeah, the hamburger or whatever.
Hamburger menu, yeah. But then you can see we have a jump here inside of that. So we are creating the right place for you. I think I want everything about my seat, but if it's going to detail like massage, what you can see here, or seat positions that you want to have here, like memory functions, it should be like also in the display, because it's more easier to do that one here inside of a huge display instead of like a hardware buttons to toggle.
Right, where you have to like twist and push and do all that stuff.
Correct.
And I totally agree. I just drove a car recently that had seat controls on the screen. I thought it was the worst experience because I was trying to lean back and reaching the screen to lean back, and I was like, oh, I can't move it. So just having them right here, I agree. A mix of hard buttons and software makes sense. But I like the approach you took because I would say 99% of the buttons are in the screen. And this is software updatable, totally can be changed over time or however you decide to do it. And just the absolute main core functions distilled down are the hard buttons.
Yes, and I think this was also the thing, right information, right time, right place, right? Yeah, let's see. I think we're already in my vehicle menu.
Yeah, so
Should
maybe
we do a deep dive on that?
Absolutely. But to get there, I guess if you're on the home screen,
yes.
What's going on the left side of the screen? Because there's a car there. Is that how you get to that menu?
No, you can also do that, but here we have our, like, we call that iconic bar. So with the main things about, we always say like go, play, talk. So navigation, media, communication. But then you have this car. So there will now be longer seat app and lightning app. So we put that everything together and say, hey, we want to have a flat menu approach on that.
I love this. This is a lot of, especially Chinese cars and American startups have been doing this for a few years. And it just makes so much sense to me. Give me the topic and then the options in the topic.
Right. As well as things, but as well as software, but also the orchestration one, for example. So how you will be welcomed by your car. So you're entering with your digital key and then just select how you want to be welcomed. More like relaxed, but also like very excited. So maybe you want to have a show off thingy.
Yeah.
But think about like in the night you're like driving home, you don't have the excited one because I think you don't want to disturb your neighbors, right?
For sure.
So that's why you can also use a relaxed one. And this is also like the philosophy behind. We can have a look at that inside of the car to have like to see how that feels. But you can also arrange that on your BMW app because like welcome and goodbye, what's the right touch point for that?
Right.
Could be the car to have a welcome, a goodbye scenario, but the most one wants to set up the welcome in their smartphone because they want to like set it up before they're entering their car, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's cool. Like if you're going to show your friends real quick, let me just dial up the fun one.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So, but it's also like very flat, but also very visual with our
cool.
live vehicle. You can also turn it to the back, and then also you can see the animation here as well.
Very nice.
So we played a lot with our 3D car, but it's because it's very obvious for the drivers, right? You don't have to say this is the front and this is the back, and then you have to explain it how that should look like. You should just show it on your car.
Right, totally. That makes sense. So like if we went headlights on, for example, which I guess would be this, then you can see the lights are genuinely on. And if you flash the high beams, will it show up here? I think it does.
Yeah, I think it does, yeah.
Yeah, so pull it back towards you. I don't know if yeah. There you go. You can actually see it switching from high beam to low beam on the screen.
Yes.
Really good detail there.
Yeah.
What I love about this flat menu for me is it just makes so much sense to go through, like I mentioned before, every single topic. And we don't necessarily need to dive into every topic here. I think one of the questions I have is about the software updates and how this will work. I think a lot of our audience and EV drivers are used to maybe every couple of months or couple of weeks, they get a notification on their phone, hey, a new software is available, here's what it's called, and here's what it does.
Yes.
Are you going to take that same approach, or is it going to be cryptic in figuring out what's going to happen?
No. They will also be like informed on the BMW ID, on the BMW app, about the things that will be, what's new about that, because I think this is the most important thing, right? To have like an imagination what's going on then and what are the benefits, right? If I'm installing that, what do I get as a customer then in this case?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So that's the most important thing. So that's why we're offering like it on the BMW app, but as well as in the car you can have a look on that. So for example, let's tap on that, and then you have the release notes and all this kind of stuff.
Amazing. Very cool. So if we go up to a topic that we always appreciate, which is driving and charging, you can get to, chassis topics here, which, my favorite button, DSC off when you're in sport mode, you can slide it around. So that's still in there. You can choose, automatic brake hold, just normal stuff that you would see here. The drive sounds can be changed as well. And so what I like about that is it's technically in the audio menu, but it automatically transferred us, which is really great. And you can choose how much volume you want.
Yes.
BMW's always been really good at offering a lot of options and settings, but it's always been really hard for customers to get to them. And I would say, you would know better than I would, but I would imagine most BMW owners don't even know everything their car can do.
Yes.
And the BMW person or the AI keeps coming up, but you can turn off the wake word. We
Yes, of course
we just have it on. I know someone was going to comment about it.
Yes, of course you can turn it off. Should we shortly look how to do that?
Yeah, I would love to know.
Let's do that maybe. Yeah, you can like tap on this is like the assistant widget, for example, and you have like your settings and just turn it off.
Oh, okay.
You can also select the voice. We are offering 2 voices. We have a female voice and a male voice. You can have a look on that. It's also
Select this option.
Oh, yeah.
Voice.
Now it's a
the
guy.
male one, and then also we have a
If you
female.
select this option, I will be your voice.
Oh, they're British. It's funny. I wonder if in America you can get one with a southern accent. That'd be great.
Yeah, what you see also here is we have a linkage to Alexa. So this is not linked right now, but you can add that. You can add your Alexa account, and then you are like having everything about also general knowledge, news, sports, but as well as deep integration of the music ones. So Spotify and also Amazon Music. Let's play Christmas songs on Spotify. All this command work out if you're like bonding to your profile.
So a question on the assistant. Just recently, I have a Tesla and I've been using Grok integration in my car. So I have an AI. I can ask it about anything on the way to where I'm going. I have a Mini Cooper, and so I had a project. I was going to upgrade it, and it was giving me all the suggestions on what aftermarket upgrades or JCW upgrades I could do to it. And I thought that was a really cool use case of AI in the car. And typically, up until that point, I've hated voice interaction in a car. It's always, you must know the menu item to go through the process. And not only can I speak to it with natural language, it's also pulling contextual information from all online. What's the future of something like that in a BMW? Is that here today? Is it coming? What's that look like?
Yes, so we are developing that together also with Amazon. And as they also say, we are heading to the language models as well, to large language models in the future. And it would be also available then for all customers in the next, next weeks, days, month,
Yeah,
years.
sure, you
forever.
can't say
cannot
exactly.
Say that
Yeah.
exactly, but there's a lot of things coming, and also.
And that will all be updated to this then?
Correct.
Okay, so it's good to know that this is like the worst it will ever be, and it only gets better.
Yes.
And it's still pretty amazing. So that's the assistant portion of everything. I have a question just on the app structure.
Yeah.
So when you're home, I can obviously get the suggestions of what I want to do, main functions. I can have Spotify up here, for example, or whatever. When I come here to the apps, you can scroll through all of these apps. Now, to me, this is maybe where it gets a little bit confusing, but most of the time I don't expect a user to have to go in through these because you've pulled up all the main shortcuts. Maybe you can explain just some highlights of what's here and why this was used.
Yeah, because as you can see, we have a lot of things, but our idea is more that we have our connected drive store. So it's up to you whether you want to have a specific app. So for example, Disney Plus or Spotify, Amazon Music, you can install the specific apps. You can also rearrange them here, that you say like add to shortcuts, edit menus. Okay, you can rearrange them as well. But you can also save them in your like favorites. You can see it here. So you send like Spotify matters to me most, for example.
Like
Also,
for this event, like if something happened, you've saved the phone number right there.
Yeah, right.
Super
or
smart.
Journey data app.
Yeah.
So this is all your audio, your quick select here with your favorites, right? So this is more like if you're searching for an app, you can install that app and move it to the place where it matters to you the most, right?
Okay,
it's
makes
more
sense.
like the whole overview here in the all apps.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, the climate menu, there was a couple things I wanted to ask you about, but first let's just go to the climate menu because this is pretty cool in this car, in my impression. Now, one thing I asked you last night was why when I touch the temperature, does it not pull this up? Because you then, I think naturally for me, I would go to temperature and expect that menu to come, but here you've got to hit the fan instead. Did you guys discuss this? What was the idea behind it? And my personal opinion would be hit that, pull up the climate menu.
Yeah, as I already mentioned, we want to be the most of the time here in the main menu, right? That was the main idea. And then we thought about what are the first actions. We know that from discussion with customers, but also from data. What kind of functions they arrange or they select during driving. That's why we have, of course, the temperature up and down. We have the seat heating, we have the fan, but not like the really arrangement of things, because we say that it's very quick and then you're back on your main screen. That was the idea behind, but also offering that in our iconic bar. So it's also a click away.
Right.
For the customers who want to have the really detailed information, to have that step into the specific app, arrange that, so that it feels comfortable for you.
Yeah, this works really well. Some cars get this so right. Some cars get the automatic vents so wrong.
Yeah.
In this car, I think it's got a fairly wide beam of air, so you can even be a little off and still get super comfortable with it. And I know there's always this trend, and it might not really fall in the UI UX thing, but Europeans tend to like the air not on their face, and Americans like them right on their face. So I don't know if that's interesting, but I do know BMWs in the past used to have like American specific HVAC tuning compared to the European ones.
Yeah, and I think so it's very easy also to arrange that and pull it to the position that feels comfortable and good for you.
Yeah, I love the air quality stuff too. You can see the outside air quality, the filtered air, and even the filter status as to when it needs to be changed. So I think there's some really cool stuff going on in here, which is nice. Some other features and questions I wanted to ask you about were the downloadable upgrades that we saw in the connected drive store. The biggest thing is actually the driver assistance topics that you can download.
Yes.
So it was here, but of course it's pulling up different recommendations and things. But even if you buy an iX3 with no extra driver assistance features, it has all of the hardware capable of everything. So maybe you can explain this.
Yeah, so it's everything on board, and then you can have a, for example, here you can search or say that I did not think about that while configuring my car, but now I want to have the parking assistant because I heard about that and it's very cool. So let's do that. Now it's active because we already activated that, but you can do a buying process here as well. To have it for a specific moment of time. So it's depending on the market. It's not so easy to say how long you will have that, but it's then offered with a specific amount, how much you have to pay. To offer you arrange that. And we also talked about the benefits, right? It's showing very easily. So what's the benefit of the parking assistant, professional, for example, but also for example, for the motorway and city assistant. So
yeah,
there.
And this is the thing that I think is so cool that this car does, and it's not necessarily about this video. You can watch my driving video to play around with this. But on the highway, you can have the car do lane changes once it offers by looking in the mirror.
Yeah.
It will stop at red lights in Germany now, and soon it will make turns and drive around almost autonomously. It's not autonomously, but it's going to do a lot of driver assistance topics that we've had in the US with certain automakers that are great. So I'm so excited to try BMW's version of this, but the highway assistance is amazing. The real benefit that I see to this is, let's say you're buying a used iX3 in the future, someone didn't spec it, you no longer, like the value of that car is still there because you can add this afterwards.
Yeah, and make it like specific for you and your needs, right? That's, I think, one of the most important things on that.
So what I really like to see is that like BMW is actually thinking about the long-term updates on the car, because I own an old i3, for example, and have owned BMWs for almost my entire life. When I purchased the car, that's the car. That's how it always was. And, you know, they're great, but they don't get better. In this case, it really seems like you've turned the page to, I would say, the modern way of a software-defined vehicle, which I hate that term, but it is what it is. And now you really are making this, an updatable piece of equipment.
Yes, correct. We talked about a lot of the central display. Should we also have a short look on the steering wheel?
Yes, that was going to be my next question. Now, this car has the better steering wheel, in my opinion, because you can get it with this two-pillar thing, which to me is really confusing, but not the video to explain that. This is the wheel everyone should get, I think.
Yeah.
So explain the whole concept here, because this is unlike any BMW really we've seen ever.
Yeah. So one thing is what we kept is our BMW philosophy, right? So left-hand side, the driver assistance stuff, and the right-hand side, the infotainment. So this is like...
Why is that the philosophy?
Yeah, because then you have you have it here, and then you have your arrangement of this kind of part of the displays, and the right-hand side you can arrange this part, right? So it's like more easier for you to separate.
It works well with my brain. Again, I've always driven BMWs and Minis, so I'm used to this.
Yeah.
But I remember even back in the day, like Mini, when iDrive was coming to Mini, and I forget what Mini called it, but even the rotation of the knob was opposite in the Mini versus the BMW, and I'm like, that must have been 50 meetings to figure out which direction the knob would have to go.
Yeah, I think it's also philosophical that, but there are rules from UI UX, perfectly, to be honest. So right is more like up and left is more like down, but then you can talk about the zoom, right?
Yeah.
Is it zoom in, is it right, or is left? Normally you say that to the right is like zoom out, and left is in.
I would think the opposite.
Yeah, because really you think it from a technical side, yeah?
Yeah.
You're moving back with the scales, right?
Yeah.
So it's always like the mental model we have.
That's wild. Those are, so yeah, how many meetings actually happen to discuss these type of topics? It has to be a few, right?
It has to be a few, and I think it's also so important then to have a bunch or a lot of customers to see them do cognitive walkthroughs with them, that they can do a talking about, oh, I think I have to turn right, because then it's like more far away, and even if you thought about another solution, then you just try that out and see how many customers like that. So it's always like a discussion, right?
Yeah.
It's not always like own opinion. It's not always the BMW opinion. It should be matched to a lot of people. And that's why it's so important to have so many users testing that. And we had up to 3,000.
Yeah, wow. So a lot of
huge amount.
So if you disagree with any operating structure, just blame 3,000 people, not Claudia.
Right. It's not like a one person opinion. And
Okay.
I think this is also very important in the UX.
So tell us about the wheel. One thing you have is turn signal, wipers, hard coded. Didn't do the buttons on the wheel for the turn signals.
Right.
This all looks pretty normal.
Because on the left hand side we have our shy-tech approach. What means shy-tech for us?
Yeah.
We know that a lot of people, it's not so easy to activate them. So they have like a hurdle to activate driver assistance stuff. So that's why we thought about what is the right information at the right time, and we're offering only specific ones. So for example, if you're in a parking situation, we're offering the parking assistant. But the other time you're like moving or you're on the highway, you don't need that offer, right? That's why we say only the things that are matters to you the most are visible, and in the other moment of time they're like out of your scope.
Interesting. And I did notice you genuinely cannot see it behind there. It's off.
It's off.
It's
right?
really cool.
Yeah, it's off. And also like the assistant, right? So it's only offered in specific our shy-tech approach. And on the right-hand side, which is also new for us, is the haptic feedback. Because we know that this is also like something from UI UX, it's always important to have your view like on the road. And if you have a haptic feedback, let's try that out with the media, for example. If I tap on this media icon, then you have the media list here. And you know that if I do like, for example, I want to have beautiful things, I know that only I have to like one click down, right? I don't have to look at one arrow position. Right. So I do that, and it feels like not so distractive. That's why we integrated the haptic feedback in here. Like the iDrive control, right? You know that the position Peter was on the third one, and he did like 3 things.
Yes.
Click, and then like press that.
Yeah, and then you could write on top of it for a period of time too to enter in stuff. That was always interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, I think, the thing about here. So we have, of course, the media. We have the telephone, and one thing also like. You see that now in a white way, but if there is an incoming call, you have it in a green one. For example, this telephone moves to green. If you have an active call, it moves to red. Why did we do that? It's because normally as a human, everything on the periphery, on the peripheric way, you can only see like color switching, and you can see movements.
Oh, wow.
So if you have your thumbs in here, and as you see from the peripheric one, here is green, you can tap on that only with your thumb, but you can still focus on the road, right?
Cool.
You don't have to look like very in this detail. So that's why these are the little things, right?
Yeah.
It feels like so normal that this is green, but why do we do that? It's like that you can focus on the road.
That's
you don't
cool.
have to look at your thumb.
So
right?
the color switching just out the corner of your eye, that'll draw it right to, okay, got to hit that
green
to answer.
Button.
Yeah.
Press it.
And then you can see the red. It's the only red thing down there. That's where you hit. Very cool.
So these are the small details, right? You also have a burger button in there. here, just click on that. You can see here in the mid. We already talked about this personal one. We already configured that. But for example, we know also from the studies and feedback, we have people that normally they drive in the personal mode, but sometimes they are to destinations they haven't been before. That's why they need a lot of things about navigation topics. They want to have it here full size, as well as our people who want to have the trip data, but as well as the dynamic, right? If they have they want to have the power meter and also the G meter here on the right hand side. So it's up to you. And this is also like the philosophy to say what is like a permanent setting for you,
right?
What is like a situative situation that you want to head off, for example, for the dynamics or also for once I'm showing that the navigation context, and what is like permanently is a lot of things a lot of things in the central display.
What I really appreciate about this is you're giving, first of all, so many options for things to show, but also they are relevant and quite technical options. So I've driven some other cars in the US that rather than this cool head-up, they use screens across the whole thing, and they give you options to put maybe 3 different displays up there, but it's like weather, and I'm like, I don't care about I can look outside and see the weather. And so then there's nothing else useful. Here there's so much. Anyone can find stuff they want to put up there, and if you don't, you can just put it off, and it's not like you have screens that are off. It genuinely just looks like a black windshield at that point.
Right.
And I really just appreciate this whole approach. This is really cool. There's some deep functions that you can do in this car. Maybe we can share some tips and tricks. I mean, like some stuff that I found was if an event happens on the road, you can click this and it records, boom, the microphone and the camera as to what's going on, right?
Yeah, so that's the drive recorder.
Yeah.
I can share that. We also have a specific app for that. Here, the drive recorder. And then it will record, right? So you have your settings, how you want to have them, as well as in here. We have a video here about an event which was recorded, but also like the settings, one before overriding, recording, data privacy. So for us, it's also always important that you feel safe to have a good feeling about that. Also put your car somewhere, or even in accident, the car should be your companion.
Absolutely.
And you feel trusty in that, or trustworthy. So this is important for us. But as well as the outside, we also have like an in-car. You can see that. Hello.
Yeah, and that's from this right here then,
right,
I guess.
so
Yeah,
this is our in-car camera.
Yeah.
You can do photos.
We should take a selfie. Nice.
Yeah, you can do that, right? You can also say reversed or set a timer.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Timer is better, then we can have a...
Right. Fun. Okay, love it. That's great.
So that's a great memory for us.
Absolutely.
So also videos.
Oh, you can literally record. We should record this whole video with this.
But then we have to look up, right?
Right, exactly. We'd have to look there the whole time, yeah. But that's pretty cool. And then, of course, you can see our photos that we just took that are in there. I mean, stuff like that's pretty fun, pretty cool. Some other things that I thought was really interesting that you put in here were there's some games. We don't necessarily need to pull them up, but, of course, that's kind of a thing while you're charging. What do you do? You've got that. I don't know how many customers will end up using that, but of course you can get the controllers. And I went to Portugal where they did all the integration for this air console stuff. And that was pretty cool to see how that was all done.
Yeah, you can add your game controller and do some playings inside of the car. There's also we know that, for example, in China, we have a lot of people, they go home or drive home and then they spend a lot of time in their car before they're entering their homes. As well as charging events that you say, hey, I want to have a look at videos, but as well as to play a game, for example, Hot Wheels, or we are offering more than one game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last thing, maybe just to show everyone, is some of the performance related apps that you have. You have acceleration timing, but then also inside of this M cockpit, so much performance data. And I think this probably paints a picture as to what's to come with future variants. I know you can't talk about that, but it's just cool that you can set up literally whatever you want to in here. So I can come here to powertrain and show our battery pack voltage, boom, right there. And you had mentioned if we come out and load up, we've got 784 volts in the battery. Most people don't care. I love this. It's so cool.
Yeah, so this is, I think, the cockpit, right? You have have a second screen for your own content in that. But you also have the drag meter, for example. So we have to
confirm it, and then there you go.
You can do measurements on your driving style, but also the channel. There's a lot of things right up, videos for,
yeah, performance driving stuff. Yeah. So I think it's kind of cool. You've got your home screen. You've got your shortcuts that you can drag down from. You have your suggested apps and widgets, but also totally controllable for things that you want to customize. You can load up whatever you want up there, and then you can control most of it from the steering wheel and voice.
Yes.
Now, do most of your drivers use voice? Because it's something I personally just haven't used very often. But in the data, do a lot of people talk to the cars?
It's getting more and more, to be honest.
Okay.
As you already mentioned, it's more getting natural. So they have like a lot of successful moments, and then they start chatting with the assistant, try something out, configure car things, but as well as ask general questions, because then they see that this is one of the interactions that are not distractive, right? So if you can start even driving and then say, let's drive me there, or play that kind of music, or take a picture of us. All this is like also available in the assistant, and it's getting more and more because, of course, they are used to it, right? At home with Alexa's, Google's, and whatever. They're used to use speech, and then it's, feels also comfortable here to do it while driving.
Amazing. Well, this has been a great tour. So much information on the topics behind why things are the way they are. And it's so important to think that literally the next generation of BMWs will have this, all of the cars, or at least most, I would imagine. So it's something that our viewers will probably, every single one will experience sitting in a BMW and experiencing this. And you had a huge role to play in it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it feels really cool also to explain it to you, like doing some storytelling about like taking you with me as a UI UX designer, because it's always like a passion to do so. I think every UI UX designer do it from the heart. So yeah, it was a really cool talk with you. Thank you so much for getting you the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. This is neat from my side. I always tell my viewers too, like driving topics, sliding a car around, charging. I'm good with this. I'm learning to understand UI, UX. I mean, I know I have my preferences. I also am used to a lot of the Chinese and American startup way. And I think this is a really nice blend of extreme functionality, deep-rooted functions that BMWs have had, but then also making it so much less complicated, like coming here to the flat menu. This is so nice just to get through everything. I love the over-the-air software updates. The phone app, phone as a key, is great. The only thing, you know what I'm going to say, the only thing I want to have in here, I bugged everyone about this yesterday, is no dog mode. So I think my point has been made. I hope dog mode will come at some point, some pet comfort situation. And Claudia, I really appreciate the tour. This has been wonderful, and I hope our viewers learned as much as I did.
Okay, thank you so much.
Really fun. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you on another episode soon. Probably, again, something to do with the new BMW iX3. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Fun video. That was...